Thanks for tuning in live to Toronto Business Summit, the largest business marketing event in Canada. And now your host, Max Carter.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to have Chad Pollitt today. He's a book author, he's a university professor, and he's an expert when it comes to advertising and content marketing. So, Chad, what do you think business owners are doing wrong right now when it comes to online presence, and what should be their strategy for successful campaign online?
So that's an excellent question, Max. There's several things that I see when it comes to content marketing that business owners really need to think about. One major issue that I see is that a lot of companies are using the build it and they will come model. So basically what I mean by that is they're creating content and publishing it on their website and just expecting people just to show up without any type of promotion or distribution plan. Okay, so there's two ways you can promote content. You can earn media or you can buy media. Those are the two major ways. You can also send an email out to your list, but if you don't have a list, that doesn't help you very much, right? So a lack of planning for content promotion and distribution is a major problem. And that's why I've written the book, The Content Promotion Manifesto and the Native Advertising Manifesto.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to strategy, let's keep it really simple for the business owners out there. And I'll say what Marcus Sheridan likes to say. He says, they ask, you answer.
Okay.
So businesses are in the business of solving people's problems. That's why they exist. They're solving businesses' problems. So as a result, your content should reflect that. So if you sell widgets that solve XYZ problems over here, then you should probably write content that solves XYZ problem over here.
What type of content is good right now? Is the market is everything saturated? Is it hard to stand out? And what actually drives customers to your business? What type of content?
Okay, so there's two questions in that. The first is a saturation on the internet of content. So by the year 2020, there'll be 5 times more content on the internet than what there was last year. So guess what? The secret's been let out of the bag. People know this content marketing thing works. So companies are doing it left and right. So yes, there's going to be a ton more competition for attention on the internet. Okay. And then the other part of your question, actually, can you repeat the other part of your question?
So what type of content actually has more actually drives customers to the business?
Okay, so ultimately that's going to depend on the business itself. I mean, the surefire way to do it is to write articles on your blog. Okay, that's the most basic, simple way to do it. Now from there you can add things like rich media, infographics, things like that. But there's lots of brands that have been doing creative stuff with video, for example. Some with Instagram or Snapchat or things like that. But ultimately I want to create, and I want my customers to create, and the people I consult with, some type of content hub on their own website. Because it's a little bit of a gamble when you're just on Instagram or Snapchat, because at the end of the day, while you in theory own that channel, you don't really own that channel.
And actually if an algorithm or anything changes, you lose your audience there, right?
Yep.
And is it just creating any type of blog post, any video, and just putting it out there and forgetting about it, or there's some type of strategy that goes into promoting?
Yeah, so I'll go back to what I said before. Your customers ask, you answer. So your salespeople are a treasure trove of information, or your customer service people. They know what the questions are people are asking. And literally, you can take the question verbatim in many cases and make it the title of your blog post, right? The great thing about that is not only will it organically attract some incremental audience, most likely, but with your distribution and promotion plans, however you set that up, that's going to also bring people. And then in addition to that, you've got the ability to have your customer service reps use the blog and direct people to those articles. So in theory, it cuts down the amount of work they have to do.
And what's the best way to get these questions? Is it asking your sales team? Is it prospecting online for searching what people need help with? Or
yeah, so it's going to be a combination. It's always good to research online. Do some of those basic queries, and as you start typing those in Google has a drop down of suggested searches. Sometimes there's some good information in that. Or you type in the question, you scroll down to the very bottom, and usually Google will have a series of, I think, 10 links, and those might be a source for questions as well.
And is there a particular budget we're talking about? Is there any? What's the investment in that?
Okay, so generally speaking, budgets in marketing, just in general, they range from the low end 8% of revenue to the highest I've ever seen is P&G. They did 33% 1 year of the revenue they spent on marketing. Okay, now whatever you're spending on marketing as a whole, content marketing is taking up 25 to 30% of that budget today. But when it comes to budgeting, I will say this: there's a trap that most content marketers find themselves in today. So if you look at television advertising, television executives, for every $1 they spend on the creation of content, they spend $5 on its distribution. Content marketers are actually doing the opposite. So today, most content marketers are spending $5 on creation and $1 on distribution. That's a mistake. So make sure when you're coming up with your content marketing budgets, you're allocating properly for distribution.
Yeah, you spend an hour writing something, you spend 5 promoting it, right? Never.
Yes.
When you publish your blog post, it doesn't end right there. It's just the beginning.
Yep.
And so that's the next question would be, how soon, like, because business owners are always thinking about return on investment. They know they cold call, they get sales, they get 1 sale every 30 calls, so they know kind of the numbers. And in content marketing, when they should expect some returns, and is it measurable?
Oh, it absolutely is measurable. Now it's going to vary whether you're B2B or B2C, how you do that. I will tell you that the type of content marketing you and I have been discussing right now is very top funnel content marketing. It's very top of the funnel, meaning its purpose is to attract and it's to attract an audience, to build an audience, and to gain awareness for your brand. Okay. Now, through the use of marketing automation software tools, and there's a whole bunch of them out there, you can, once you have somebody subscribe to your blog or download an ebook or fill out some form, you can then start to nurture them with middle to lower funnel content. Now, what I mean by middle funnel content is maybe you send them a case study of the work that you've done, right? So you want to have a nurturing point so that those people that maybe are interested in talking about doing business will have the ability to do so. But many of them won't yet. But the fact of the matter is, you're nurturing them in your audience, and eventually, someday, there's a good chance they're going to want to do business with you. So it's not a put X in, get Y out. It's an ongoing investment in perpetuity.
And what are some of the guidelines to stand out among the rest? If you're publishing blog posts, they're not going to rank #1 on Google right away, or your video is not going to go viral on YouTube right away. Is there certain guidelines to what you should be doing when promoting and producing content?
Yeah, so first off, if you can pick a unique niche that you are writing your content about, so here's the thing. I'm from the agency world, so I see this all the time. Most marketing agencies that do content marketing, their blogs are about anything that has to do with digital, anything, okay? Where at Relevance, where I'm the VP of Audience, our online publication is dedicated to content promotion and distribution, okay? That's our niche. Now, can we publish some content marketing articles? Sure, we can. Okay, but because we own that niche, we stood out from the crowd, and it helped us build our audience up to 70,000 subscribers in a short amount of time. Now, when it comes to promotion, on the paid side, native advertising is where it's at for top of the funnel content marketing. So native advertising. The sponsored posts you see on Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, also your ad blades, tabulas, outbrains, those type solutions. And then lastly, something we're seeing a lot of recently is sponsored content on actual blogs or online publications. So Netflix does this all the time. Their Orange is the New Black article on the New York Times was infamous, right? So there's opportunities for you to publish on other websites linking back to yours. Another thing that you can do is influencer marketing. That's really hot right now. Excuse me. So that's on the earned promotion side. You can also, if you, let's say you write up an interesting study on some data that you figured out in your company, excuse me, then you can actually publish that data and then find journalists that cover that beat and pitch why they should write an article about the study that you did. And believe it or not, people will. Bloggers, too. So that whole PR side of the equation is a way to promote your content as well.
That's interesting. So is it for any type of business? Like, is content marketing any business owner can do it, or is it something that they actually can do themselves? Is it how hard is it to do?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like I said before, businesses are in the business of solving problems. That's what they do and why they exist. Okay? I don't care if you manufacture big metal industrial shelves and that's all you do. Okay, those shelves solve a very particular problem. And then you find out what the other problems that your customers might have in and around that category, and then you just write content about it that solves problems. Those business owners are in business because they're able to solve problems, and they know what those problems are, and they're experts at it. So all they got to do is share their expertise on a website. Now, form, function, and writing style and things like that, most average educated people have no problem with that. But there's solutions online where you can hire a virtual assistant or an editor for really cheap and pass it through them if you want.
Yeah. Well, that's some really great information. So, do you have some last tips for business owners looking to get started to increasing their presence online? How would they do it? Where do they start? And what's the kind of step-by-step little process to content marketing from scratch?
Okay, so the first thing I would do is make sure I build a website out. Okay, you can go through a full WordPress development if you want, or you can use a solution like Weebly, which is a drag and drop. You can build your own website. I'm not a programmer, and I was able to build a site with it. So if I can do it, you can do it. And then write your first blog post and make it solve a problem that your potential customers might have, but be consistent. So if you're going to publish once a week, don't stop doing it, because here's the thing. Every time you write something and publish it, it's just one more brick to build your giant wall. Okay, now I've written over the last 10 years over 900 articles.
Wow.
And at no point did I quit. I stayed consistent. And I mean, because I did that, I teach at a university now. If I would have never wrote a blog post, I wouldn't be teaching at a university.
Yep. Yep. So how do you create like a remarkable content, how do you stand out from all the clutter out there?
Well, you have to find your niche,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to build an audience. It'll happen slowly but surely. You'll build an audience and talk to that audience. That audience will have expectations. That audience will trust you. That's really what you're going for. But at the end of the day, be yourself and solve problems.
Exactly, solve problems. That's great, Chad. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for a lot of valuable tips for business owners for content marketing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.